If you want to get somewhere you've never been, you need to do something you've never done before.
If you got a rich or poor mindset, a lot of people think rich or poor mindset is just associated with money. Not necessarily. It's also associated with how you approach life. And it can really get you to the next stage, or it can keep you on the same level, or it actually make you go backwards. In this video, we're going to break down the differences between a rich and poor mindset, and also give some examples and let you guys know things that you can actually start implementing in your life to help change your mindset from one to the other. Well, from poor to rich, and if you already have a rich mindset, to maintain that rich mindset.
So opportunity, depending on whether you have a rich or poor mindset, you can look at opportunities in a different way. So I'll give an example. An example that would apply to a lot of people would be, let's say you lost your job. If you have a rich mindset, you can see this as an opportunity. This could be a chance for you to analyze what's going on, the situation, possibly why you lost your job, and also what you've learned from your job that you can take on to the next job. And not just that, but do you need another job? Perhaps you need to start looking for things that you can do on your own. Give yourself your own jobs, look for ways you can monetize perhaps a skill, or use that time to actually learn a new skill. So those are the things that, if we have a rich mindset, you see this as an opportunity. Whereas on the flip side of that, if you have a poor mindset, you actually see this as an obstacle. Obstacle being in that you say, okay, well, I've lost my job. This is the end of the world. I've got bills to pay. Where am I going to make money? Where am I going to go get another job? All of these things start coming in that effectively pose obstacles to you, to the point that you become numb, mind numb, and you just end up not doing anything with yourself. Although it's not a good thing losing your job, but it's good to actually start with your mindset, focus on positives and how you can better yourself, how you can improve yourself, a lot of self-development, move on to the next stage, really realign and focus. Risk, again, depending on whether you have a poor or rich mindset, you can look at risk in a different way. So for instance, a rich mindset will look at risk as you need to take risks to get somewhere. Wherever you want to do, if you want to get somewhere you've never been, you need to do something you've never done before. And part of that is taking risks. And not just taking any risks, but with a rich mindset, you have to take calculated risks. For instance, if you want to go and perhaps, if you're talking jobs, you've been offered a job, or you've seen a job that you would like, that would suit you in a different city or a different town or different country, and you really want it, it's really for you. Taking the risk would be actually relocating, changing your life to basically adapt to the new environment, the new city, the new job, everything like that. Because at the end of the day, the risk could be you could get there and it doesn't work out in the end. But the fact that you've taken a calculated risk, you've looked at, okay, budgeting, how you're gonna get there, how you're gonna survive, how you're gonna get to work, all of that, you've done all that, and you've actually taken up the opportunity through the calculated risk. You don't know how it's going to work out, but you believe it's going to work out. That's the rich mindset. Whereas a poor mindset, they're very averse to risk because they're worried that they're going to fail. Because of that fear of failure, they just don't go or take that risk. For instance, the job example, they'll see something that suits them very well that could take them to the next stage or where they want to be in life, career-wise or wherever, but they're scared that they'll get there and they wouldn't be liked, or they'll get there and the job isn't for them, or they'll get there and they'll fail miserably at the job. So because they're averse to that risk, they'll effectively just stay where they are. Learning, now this is one of my favorite things. A rich mindset, of course, and a poor mindset look at learning in different ways. For instance, a rich mindset would look at learning as a lifelong thing. Every day is a school day, and that is true, because every day you need to learn something new. It doesn't necessarily just need to be about how you're going to make money or how you get. It could basically be about how it makes you a better person in life, where you want to be, what you want to learn. Just for yourself, it could be something as simple as, okay, you want to learn how to do gardening. Gardening is actually a peaceful activity that you can do because the world and things can get stressful at times. You need that moment of peace in your life. And taking up gardening, learning about the different plants, the different seeds, how you plant them, how you water them, nurture them, all of that is really good because it brings you that peace, which ultimately sort of realigns your mindset, your focus, and you're able to actually think of things that you don't know it yet, but would actually better your life. Whereas a poor mindset will look at learning as, well, I've already learned everything I need to learn. There's nothing new for me to learn. There's no point reading this book. There's no point learning that thing. Or this is cringe if I do this. All of that. They have that kind of mindset. So guess what happens? They basically just stay on the same level. They stay where they are. Since they've learned everything, there's nothing new for them. They're not going to get onto the next level. They're just going to stay on the same level. If anything, they're probably going to go backwards in life, go to the lower levels, because the world is dynamic. Everything is changing. No matter what you get into, tomorrow is changed. There's something new. Success. Now, this is another favorite of mine. Depending on whether you have the rich mindset or the poor mindset, you view success differently. For instance, if you're out walking and you see someone driving a Lamborghini or Rolls Royce or has a mansion, or maybe they've just got the job that you want or the position that you're looking for, a rich mindset will see that as an opportunity to actually be inspired and look at, how did they get that? You know what, I'm gonna ask. If you know who they are, let's say you see someone driving, or even if you don't know, and this is a real story, there was a time I saw someone driving a Rolls Royce, I red light. I walked up to them. I could have been arrested that day, like a random person walking up to a Rolls Royce and be like, but I knocked on the person's window. They looked a bit suspicious, like, who is this? Am I gonna get robbed today? And this was London, of course. So yeah, they were like, am I gonna get robbed today? What's going on? But he lowered his window a little bit and I was like, look, whatever you're doing, I respect your hustle. I respect your success, all of that. I don't know who you are, you don't know who I am, but I just felt I needed to tell you that, and you're my inspiration. I wanna be here one day driving a Rolls Royce. And then he laughed, and then I was like, do you mind me asking, what is it you do for a living? So we got on discussing, and then he warmed up. We had an actual discussion and stuff like that with this. He told me what he did for a living. He was into investments, but he was a head trader. Point of that was, I looked at this success, I didn't even know at the time, but I had a rich mindset. I looked at the guy's success and as an inspiration. Whereas a poor mindset will look at that and like, who does this person think they are? This show off, this, that. Probably doing dodgy things, probably illegal activities for them to get that. All of those things, you start judging the person before you even know them. And guess what happens? You effectively block your blessings. You block opportunities that you can give yourself. And by learning about what that guy did, guess what? I went into that field and started trying to learn about investments, learn about money, learn about this, learn about that, So eventually you start following the path or creating the path to the success, to the lifestyle that you want. And that's by learning from other people. Investments, now this is a follow-up to the success. Depending on your mindset, whether rich or poor mindset, you can see investments as a different thing, of course. So investments could be anything. It could be monetary investments, if you want to invest in stocks, if you want to invest in properties, if you want to invest in whatever, or it could really just be in yourself, which is the best investment you can make. Now with the rich mindset, you can see investments like, I need to invest in myself. I need to learn a new skill. I need to learn a new something, or I need to learn things that will get me to the next level of my job, my 9-to-5. Regardless of what people say, there's nothing wrong with a 9-to-5. In fact, a 9-to-5 is pretty good because it helps you pay the bills. It helps you learn something. You just need to find out how you're going to get to the next level. Now, with a poor mindset, they actually don't think that they need to invest. What they actually invest in, which is not investments, but they buy a lot of or spend a lot of money on liabilities. For instance, let's say they have a good job or whatever, or they're getting money. What they'll do is, I need to get the latest car, right? So they'll go and spend so much money on the deposit, initial deposit, and the monthly payments is crippling their bank account, but as long as they look cool in that new car. But meanwhile, that car is depreciating in value year on year. Some cars are a lot worse than others, but the point is that car is losing money. Not only losing money, but you're paying money, so by the end of it, you've actually paid double because the price of the car is halved, and then you've paid the actual value of it today for 4 years time. So it's better to use that money and put into investments. But with the poor mindset, all they care about is buying liabilities. I mean, they may not know it's a liability, but they're using it for their image. They want to look rich. Lastly is time management. The rich mindset knows the value of time, meaning that every second you spend in life, you're not going to get it back. So why not use it towards something that will add value to your life? For instance, it could be the learning. It could actually incorporate all of these. It could incorporate the learning, it could incorporate the success, all of that all in one. Basically use your time wisely. Or is it the people that you're hanging around with? Do they have the same goals as you? Do they have goals actually? Because not a lot of people actually set goals out, daily, weekly, monthly goals, whatever, you know, that they want to achieve. Do they just want to go out, do the same things every week, every weekend? If that's you, that's fine, but that's really just a poor mindset as well. The poor mindset, they don't know the value of time. They're quite happy to go and spend the whole day doing things that don't add value to their life. For instance, they're happy to just go out and maybe get so drunk that they're just like, oh, and then next day they spend it being hungover. Yeah, they can have a laugh with their mates about what happened the night before, how that, but really you're wasting time doing things that's not really adding value to your life. So it's all about knowing the kind of mindset that you have initially. There's nothing wrong with having the poor mindset, but if you want to get to the next stage, or if you're seeing yourself not getting anywhere in life, no one is responsible for your life or your choices apart from yourself. So you can start analyzing, okay, what choices am I making? Where am I right now? What kind of mindset do I have? What kind of mindset do I want? Do I want the rich mindset or do I want the poor mindset? I hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and I hope it brought value and added value to your day, and the information could add value to your life and stuff like that. And if it does, let me know in the comments below what mindset you have, and I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one. If you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. We've all been there. You're fresh out of school, you're ready to take on the world, then all of a sudden adult things hit you. There's so many things you need to do now that school has not prepared you for, and one of those things is actually how to manage finances. We're gonna dive into things they don't teach you in school about finance. First thing they don't teach you at school about finance is mortgages. I mean, we've all heard the term mortgages, but what actually is a mortgage? So a mortgage is basically a loan that you would take from a bank or a building society. So you put up the 10% of the value of the property as a deposit, and then the mortgage company, building society, or the bank will then actually give you out the 90% as a loan. So this is the loan to value. And once you've been given this loan by the bank or building society, you then have to make repayments every month. And it's very, very important, I mean, it's crucial to actually pay on time every month. And if you're not consistent on these payments, the bank can actually repossess your property. So the second thing they don't teach you at school about finance is actually taxes. I mean, we've all heard the word tax. We all kind of hate the word tax, but it's very necessary. I mean, there's two certainties of life. One is death, the second is taxes. The fact that they don't teach you this at school, it kind of baffles me. But anyway, taxes, what are they? So basically taxes is an amount of your salary that you have to pay to the government. 3 examples of taxes that you have to pay. One is income tax, the second self-assessment tax, and the third is council tax. So income tax, that's basically when you're working like full-time, etc. If you're PAYE in the UK, any salary that you make, you have to pay tax on your income. So it's a percentage of your income. There's different tax brackets to that depending on how much income you're making. If you want me to do a video on the different tax brackets and basically more in-depth information on taxes, let us know in the comments below. Second example of tax that you pay is self-assessment. So this is more geared towards people who are self-employed. Whatever money that they make, they have to do a tax return every year. And the third one is council tax. So council tax, if you're a homeowner or even if you're renting, most likely to pay if you're over the age of 18. The amount you have to pay is actually dependent on the area that you live. Third thing they don't teach you at school about finance is actually loans. I mean, a lot of people get loans, but what actually is a loan? So a loan is effectively you borrowing from a bank, and the bank actually charges interest. So the interest is the cost of borrowing. So how much it will cost you to actually borrow something. So they'll give it as a percentage. So every repayment that you make towards the loan actually has the interest incorporated into it. So how loans are calculated, they're actually calculated in the annual percentage rate, so the APR, and this is actually the interest that you're paying on top of it. The fourth thing they don't teach you in school about finance is budgeting. What is budgeting? So budgeting is actually creating a plan out of how you're going to spend your money or manage your money. Now this is very, very important, and it can be as easy as, in fact, it is as easy as just creating like an Excel spreadsheet. If you don't have a computer at hand, or if you don't have Excel, then what you can do is literally just pen and paper, create a table, write down, okay, what is my income this month? Okay, what are my outgoings? What bills do I have? I've gone more in depth about budgeting in my other video on things to do when you get paid. So guys, check that out. What's your expenditure? And effectively how much you're going to set aside for like a rainy day, because things do come up, life does happen. For instance, recently I was on the motorway just driving, and then all of a sudden my car hits out a warning, fam, you need to check your brakes. The car I've got and how much the brakes are going to cost, I was thinking, do I really need these brakes? Maybe I can just stick my feet down like Flintstones and try to brake. But those are the kind of things that could come up, you know, and luckily I've actually set some money aside for those kind of things, and that's part of the budgeting. And that's the importance of actually budgeting, because that way you've allocated a piece of your income on little things. You know, it could even be as important or as simple as just on yourself. If you want to spend some money, maybe it's not every day you're going to pay bills, right? It's not every day you're going to splash out, but it's every day that life happens. You know, you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, but always be prepared. I mean, there's a good saying, if you fail to prepare, then prepare to fail. And lastly, on budgets, you need to actually periodically check and review your budget. You know, have you allocated things correctly? Maybe you're allocating too much money on bills in 1 month or the next month, and then you're not giving yourself anything really. You pay all your bills and then you're living on noodles, you know, ramen. You can't even afford ramen. Your card is being declined to buy some, you know. So you need to allocate some more to other things, you know, that way you just switch things around. And also, if you're spending too much money on bills, rent or mortgage, etc., maybe you're just stretching yourself too thin on those things. Maybe it's time to relocate, you know, because you need to be kind of comfortable and enjoy life. So the fifth thing they don't teach you at school about finance is your credit score. Now, everyone has a credit score, but what is a credit score? A credit score is an abstract measure that banks and lenders use to actually measure how healthy you are as a borrower. You know, for instance, if you take out too many loans, etc., then that kind of goes badly against you, because it shows that you're dependent on debt and dependent on loans, and basically mainly you can't manage your money, you don't have enough income, all of that. So a credit score, everyone has it, and it's very important. From getting a phone out on credit to a mortgage, it actually goes against your credit file. The sixth thing they don't teach you at school about finance is investing. I mean, this is my favorite. So investing, basically in a nutshell, is you're putting money away for something today in the hopes that it will grow tomorrow. So there's different investment vehicles such as stocks, properties, whiskey. If you like to have a drink, why not invest in it? Buy shares and stocks today in the hope that the shares or the value of those shares actually go up tomorrow because the company has done well. But of course, not all investments are the same. So before you get involved in investment, take a step back, think about, okay, what are my goals? What do I want to achieve in these investments? Am I doing it short term? Am I doing it long term? And then from there, you can better pick your investment vehicle. For instance, if you want to invest short term or long term, you can go into the stock market. If you want to invest long term, just put money, you don't need it, you're not going to need it, but you want to check it out in 5-10 years time, then you can buy a cask of whiskey. However, if you're unsure about investing and you want to get involved, then definitely let me know in the comments below. I'll be more than happy to do more investment videos. But the key thing to remember about investing is effectively just setting yourself up for the future as a retirement plan. So that way, when you're unable to work, or you decide, you know what, I want to enjoy my life, you've put all the money you put aside is grown to a substantial amount that you can actually just live the rest of your days comfortably. The seventh thing they don't teach you in school about finance is pensions. So pensions is actually when you're working, is taking a sum of your income and putting that aside for a later date. So that way, every month, every year, that sum of money accumulates. So when you go to retire, you've got this lump sum of money that you can basically retire on, and you can live the rest of your days. So this actually ties in with point number 6 about investing. You know, so as one of the things you can invest in is an ISA while you're working. So every money that you take out of your income, you can put into an ISA, which gets invested by a hedge fund manager or a fund manager. And by the time you come to retiring, that ISA has grown and a section of it is actually tax-free. But the important thing to remember about pensions is the earlier you start saving into your pension, the better. And actually some companies that you work for, they would match your pension. So for every £1 you put into your pension pot, the company can match it with £1 equivalent. So you're actually putting in £2. But there's lots of different pension companies out there that would invest your money in different ways and based on different risk tolerance and stuff like that. The eighth thing they don't teach you at school about finance is debt. I mean, the word debt can be a very scary thing, but what is debt? Simply put, is you owe somebody money, right? And we can't go through our whole lives without having debt. There's some good debt, there's some bad debt. But as scary as debt sounds, remember, not all debt is bad. Some debt is actually good debt because you're working towards something like student loans. That's good debt because you're working towards getting your degree. So you're investing in yourself. Also, you've got mortgages, which is good debt. But investing also in where you stay, you're buying a house you're gonna live in for whatever, as long as you need, and you could possibly pass down to your kids. So those are good debts. So on the topic of debt, if you find yourself in a sticky one still, there's actually a lot of organizations out there that can help you out if you're up to your neck or your eyeballs in debt. And they can actually help you plan how you're going to pay it back and what you need to pay and what you can't pay, what you can get away with. But definitely get some advice out there. The ninth thing they don't teach you at school about finance, and in my opinion, I think it's actually the most important, and this is self-control. Self-control is very important because in many ways, it will prevent you from going down the wrong path with things. For instance, if you say, okay, I want to get a loan out, then having that self-control means that you take what's within your limits, what you know you can repay every month. So before you do that, you need to assess, okay, what are your goals? How much money am I making? What's my income? What's my expenditure already? What do I need this loan for? And also, how long can I pay it back in 2 years instead of 4 years? Because bearing in mind, your loans have interest tied to it. So the longer you're taking the loan out for, the more money you have to pay back. That's more money leaving your pocket. So look at those things. Part of self-control is actually delaying self-gratification, because we all want those things. We all want materialistic things. We all want the Bugatti. What color is your Bugatti? We all want those things, right? But we need to think, can I afford that now, or can I wait until later on? Let me work hard today so that way I can afford it later on. Even if I can afford it now, but really I've got other things. I've got bills to pay. I've got other expenditures. So those things, if I instantly gratify myself with those things, it's going to put me in a worse off position. So I can just have some self-control and wait for it. A few things that can help you with self-control is, one, set clear financial goals. So what are your financial goals? What do you need money for? What are you saving up for? What are you investing for? Where do you see yourself in 10 years? The second thing that can help you with self-control is create a budget. I mean, I've already done a whole section of it in this video, but ultimately create that budget. What's my income? What's my expenditure? What can I allocate to where? The third thing that can help you with self-control is track your spending. I mean, you need to keep track of what you're spending, all your expenses, and basically that way you can analyze what's a good expense and what's not, what's a necessary expense and what isn't. The last point to help you with self-control is actually celebrate the small wins. I mean, we all want in that time where we're millionaires or we have this big thing, we have that. But through life, through your day-to-day, there's little goals that you achieve, little wins. So you need to celebrate those, you need to recognize those, because those, when you celebrate the little goals, you're actually halfway to achieving the bigger goals. Finally, the 10th thing they don't teach you at school about finance is how to make money without working. Now, if you figure this out, make sure you let me know. Guys, that brings us to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope it brought you some value. I'll see you in the next one. At least bring one cost down, so that way you have more money to do other things or more money for other bills. Over the past year, the rise in energy bills has literally crippled a lot of people financially, but you're in luck because the prices are actually coming down now. But where do you actually find these cheap energy providers?
You know me high grade sipping on me liquor. Girls them a come, them a want, them a take her. Bad man me a come in, me a wanna take her. Girls them a come, them a want it on the nigga. I steady sipping on my liquor. Then I tell her me she give her never trust.
So there are many providers that are actually cheaper than a lot, and there's a lot of websites that compare these providers, so that way it tells you what you're getting in terms of the deal, who the provider is, and obviously all their terms and conditions and all their terms and businesses. So I'm going to let you guys know just a couple of websites that are pretty good, and I'm based in the UK, so if you're based in other countries, I'm sure these websites actually cover your area, because a lot of them ask for your postcode or your zip code or whatever. So you just put it in and then it finds local providers and also global providers that show like different prices and cheaper alternatives, etc., that you find. And a lot of these websites actually aid with you switching from one provider to the next. So they actually do all that work for you, and all you need to do is basically just sign up, put your direct debit details, all of that. So the first website that actually allows you to compare different energy providers is Go Compare. So Go Compare, if you're from the UK, you definitely remember these. Remember the old Go Compare adverts. They started off really annoying, but the guy actually grew on you. Like, you end up singing it. I know I did, going to work, like, Go Compare, and then like, what am I doing? But anyway, this is one of the websites that you can find. They're actually pretty good. So you go on the website and then you put in your address, you select your address, and what are you looking for, both gas and electric, gas only, electric only. And then from there, it basically it asks you for certain details. So if we go gas and electric, accept and compare tariffs. So you put your home address and all of that. So I'm not going to go ahead with that step because I'm not going to put my personal address, nor am I going to put a random address that ends up being a real address. So guys, go ahead, just fill in your details with that. Select what you're looking for, whether both gas and electric, gas only or electric only. So the second website actually is Cheap Energy Club. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all these links to these websites in the description box below, so you guys can check them out for yourself and see, because these websites, they might differ in which providers they produce and all. So it's kind of good to like shop around, be a window shopper with this, and then just checking out the right deal for you based on your location, because some of these websites might not cover your location, others may. So yeah, just check around. The next website, Cheap Energy Club. So just like Go Compare, you initially asks you to sign up, so you can put your email address, that way they can notify you of deals that are coming up or anything like that. And speaking of notifying, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll also notify you whenever I upload a video. But anyway, continuing with that, so you can either put in your email to get started, or you can log in if you already have an account. The third website is actually Money Saving Expert, and this one, it gives you actually tips and tricks. So it has whole articles on where you can find cheap providers, how you can go about switching, asking is it worthwhile ditching your current provider and perhaps going to a new one, because you might think they're cheaper, but in the long run it might actually not be cheaper. So basically read between the lines, and this article and this website, Money Saving Expert, helps you with that. So go ahead, check it out. The third website is actually a comparison website, just like Go Compare and Cheap Energy Club. This is USwitch. So this is actually pretty good. My missus has used it a number of times because before she was better at finding these things than I was. So she would find good deals and stuff like that. You know, ladies love deals and they're very good at finding deals, and booking traveling. You know, they're very good at that. Hang on. Yeah, and booking traveling. So anyway, back to the video. So use Switch, they're very good. You put your postcode in. In this case, it's postcode because I'm based in the UK. But if you're based somewhere else, I believe this website is global. So if you're based somewhere else, you just put zip code or the equivalent of that. And then it finds local either providers or global providers, but it finds you the best ones and it compares between them. So that way you can have a holistic bird's eye view of what's available to you, and you can tailor it to your own needs. And now the fourth website is actually energy comparison. So it's Money Supermarket, and they're actually also really good as well. In fact, all of these websites I'm showing you, they're actually very good. You just need to check them out and see which one suits you and your needs. So compare energy tariffs. So you click on compare energy tariffs, and again, it asks you for your details. So all of the websites, all the comparison websites, they ask you for your details because they want to know where you're based and also see who's the best provider within your area. So guys, go ahead, check them out. You know, there's no point basically there's no point renewing your energy provider. Like for those who are coming up to the end of their contract or their term, you usually get like an email or some kind of notification from your current provider asking you, do you want to renew? If you want to renew, this is how much it's going to cost and all of that. But and this is just a tip for you guys, they actually, a lot of them end up making it more expensive, you know, than before. And they try to justify it by, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that, because they're hoping that you actually don't go and do your due diligence and actually do the research yourself and see what's best for you. They're hoping that you just say, you know what, that's fine. Energy bills have gone up anyway. It's fine. It's only an extra £200, $200 a year or whatever. But really, if you do your due diligence, do your research, and basically do what I'm telling you in this video in terms of checking out, comparing between them, you find that you can actually get a better deal, you know. So that's what I'm trying to put you guys on, you know. So make sure you research, even if your current provider is saying this is a great deal, just do some research yourself, just to see, do your own thinking. Don't let your provider do the thinking for you. And a lot of these websites, comparison websites, they actually, like I mentioned, they actually help you switch, you know, and what's in it for them, because someone somewhere has to, there's a reason people are doing things, right? So I'll just be transparent. I believe the comparison websites, if they get a deal, they're helping you, they're doing it for free on your end, but they're billing or they're getting a commission from these actual energy providers from their end, you know. So that's how they make their money, you know, because no one does anything for free, especially if you're good at it. So they've put in all the work to get these comparisons, so they need to get paid. And how they get paid, I believe, is through the energy provider. So you can be rest assured that this is impartial, and there's no incentive. They're not putting out something to you saying, oh, this provider is great because they're gonna get paid for it. It's in their best interest that you actually use them, you trust them, trust the information they're giving, because the next time you come to renew, guess where you're gonna go? That same website, right? So they want retaining customers, and they're retaining you and your interest as a customer. So yeah, but anyway, guys, that's just a video hoping to put you guys on this, because I know the energy bills, the rise in the energy bills, you know, it can be put you in some really interesting positions, you know, because you're just like, 1 minute you're paying this, next minute you're going up, and then you look at, there's other things that are going up in price, and you're just like, waiting to happen, you know. So this is one way that's really good to help you at least bring one cost down, you know, so that way you have more money to do other things or more money for other bills. But yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video and I hope it brought you value, then go ahead, like the video, comment below, let me know your thoughts on the websites. If there's any other websites that you guys know, you can also put them in as a comment, just to help each other out as well. And also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that notification bell, because I'll be coming out with more money. I'll be coming out with more videos like this, helping you save money, either save money or helping you make money. You know, you can't go wrong with either of them, but you can definitely do a lot better with both of them, saving money and making money. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next one.
You know me high grade sipping on me liquor. Girls them a come, them a want, them a take her. Bad man, me a come in, me a wanna take her. Girls them a come, them a want it on the liquor. I steady sipping on my liquor. Then I tell her me she give her never trust.
Hey Bread Gang, I hope everyone's doing good and blessed today. Are you one of those people that you just get paid, right? And let's say you get paid on a Friday, by Monday your money is gone. And let's say you get paid on a Friday, Monday your money is gone. You don't know where your money has gone to, and basically you have nothing to show for it. I used to be one of those guys that basically, I'll get paid, I'll feel like I'm balling on the Friday, but I started following these few steps and it's basically allowed me to be able to buy my dream home, buy the car that I want, my dream car that I want, and also save up for investments, which is very important because I know we pay tax, right? And to be honest, you can blame the tax man as long as you want, like, oh, they're taking too much money, but really they're not. Whatever is left over, if you actually invest it, if you use it properly, then by following these few steps, if you use it properly, then you can actually buy your dream home, you can invest, you have a lot of money left over, and you'll be surprised how much of an emergency fund you actually have saved over, and basically your life would be a lot more comfortable. You still obviously have to hustle, you still have to work, you still have to do things, but your life will be a lot more comfortable. And the best part about it is you actually know where your money is going and you're very disciplined with your money. And you also respect money. You also know you're not scared of money anymore. You now understand it, that it's a tool to buy you the life that you want, because everyone wants that kind of life. And the best part about it is that with money, it actually buys you the time. The time is luxury. Time is something that we're not getting back, which is a luxury to everyone. We need the time to spend with family, spend with kids if you've got kids, spend with your dogs, your pets, whatever you want to do, go on that dream holiday, buy that house you want, whatever. And before you get the time, you need to have the money. And before you get the money, you need to actually know how to use it. All right, so let's get into those steps that if you follow them perfectly, you can of course fine-tune them to suit your lifestyle, your character, etc. But fundamentally, if you follow these steps, then I can guarantee you'll be able to get the house that you want, you'll be able to get the lifestyle that you want and the life that you either always dreamed of or you just want to improve on. So with that being said, let's get this bread. First thing that I did to pretty much, in hindsight, actually change my life, and this is the fundamental thing, and that's the reason why I'm saying it's the first step, is that I got myself a Monzo account. By the way, this video is not sponsored by Monzo. The reason I'm saying Monzo is that basically get yourself an account that would allow you to create sub accounts from that. So the sub accounts, you can basically create those accounts to say, okay, this is going to be my emergency fund. Okay, this is going to be my rent, my mortgage, my car payments, basically your bills, a pot for your bills. And you're going to have one that's investment, whatever pots you want. So I created a Monzo account, and Monzo is very good for this. So basically Monzo allows you to create little pots, right? And you can name the pot, you can decide what they are. So I created a pot that says, okay, I'm looking to buy a house within 6 months to a year. So I created a pot that says, this is my house purchase. And then I created another pot that says, this is going to be investment, this is going to be property, this is all that. But to be honest, the pot that took the most of my money was saving up for the house, which was okay. So the pots I had was really saving up for the house, investment, properties. I've got 2 little kids, so I even have one for like a fund for them. So when they get to 18, they can do whatever they want, or I can use it to buy them properties. So it's basically like a trust fund. So I've got a pot for that, and every month, whenever I get paid, and this is key, remember this guys, whenever you get paid, right, make sure, let's say you get paid $1,000 a month or whatever, right? Make sure you break that money down. Use it, allocate each money to each pot. So let's say you want maybe $200 out of that $1,000 a month. You want to put it in your investment fund, or you want to put it in your emergency pot, or you want to put it in, maybe you're saving up for a house, you're saving up for that car, or you're saving up for a holiday, anything. Put it in that pot, and then basically break down that $1,000 to the point that what you're left with is what you can survive for the month, okay, going forward. Because think about it this way, before I had all those pots, right, I'll get paid, let's say I get paid $1,000 a month, right? I'll look at my account and be like, Joy, I've got $1,000. See money, yo, me, I go drop my money. That Friday I get paid, fam. Man's out in the bar, in the club, out with friends, even out for dinner, like with missus. But I won't be going to like, if you're in the UK, you know, I won't be going to like Greg's, right, to get chicken bacon. Like, fam, I'll be going to the W, right? I'm like $300. That's nothing. Man's got $1,000. So $300 for a plate of food ain't nothing. But Monday comes, I look at my account again, and I'm like, and you know the funny thing with banks, right? They say, this is what you have, right? You have $1,000, but they've got a fine print underneath that says, actually, fam, you've got $2 in your account. So they mess with your head in that way, and that's what I was used to seeing. But since I got a Monzo account, and basically, as soon as I get paid, I'm like, okay, let me split my money. And one of the things that got me thinking about doing that is the tax man, right? The tax man takes their cut before you even smell your money, right? They're taking your cut. So why not act like the tax man with your own money? When your money comes in, $1,000, say, break your money up. So that way what you're left is, like I said, what you can live on for the month. So if you can live on $100 for the month, right? Even if you splash that $100, come Monday, you have $900 left, right? Rather than you splash that $1,000, come Monday, you have $2 left in your account. And the roaches are like, fam, we haven't eaten. You know, what's going on? So guys, get Monzo account, right? Or any account you want. This video is not sponsored. Get whatever account you want, but make sure that account can give you sub accounts that you can split your money up, right? Then the second thing you need to do is create a pot or create a sub account that says this is your emergency fund, because you want to put money in your emergency fund. You want to build that up, right? And the third thing that you want to do is pay yourself. Okay, so paying yourself, that's living over how much money you can live on for the month. Okay, that's paying yourself. Or you can live over how much you've got. Let's say $100, I can survive on $100 for a month, right? And you know what, I'm gonna give myself another $100 just to splash out, just to feel good, because let's face it, right? You don't want to be there saving up and you're not doing anything. You're there eating spam, you're there eating corned beef, right? You're not treating yourself. It'll mess you up psychologically, because you would look around, you have things like Instagram, you look around, people are living life. You want to live your life too, right? So set a budget for living your life, set a budget for what you can survive on. This basically ties up or summarizes the key point of knowing where your money goes, okay? Because at least that way you know where your money has gone, you know where your money is, and basically the whole month, or from Monday to the rest of the month, or till when you get paid again, you and your money are not playing hide and seek. Okay, so know where your money is going. Okay, and I was one of the, man, my money was the champion at hide and seek. Before I get paid, I'm like, fam, John Travolta popping out my wallet every second. You know, it's not good, it's not a good feeling. So know where your money is going. And with that, step one, creating a Monzo account. I'll leave a link in the description box below on how you can maybe create a Monzo account or whatever, if you've never heard of Monzo. I mean, it was actually my missus that introduced me to that. You know, like before that, I didn't know anything else. I just had my main account, my current account, and savings account. But with that, you can know where your money is going. So once you've got your Monzo account or whatever account you have, basically having sub accounts, the next thing to do is do your grocery shopping, because you obviously need to eat for the rest of the month, and you want to know, okay, especially if you put money aside, how much I'm going to live on for the month. You want to use that money towards your food shopping, etc. So that way you have stuff to eat. So I've actually done some shopping. So basically do your food shopping. And so with the food shopping, at least that way you get the ingredients, you get the things you need, the pastas, etc., things that you can cook. So you're not tempted to say, all right, that $100 I've given myself to live on for the month. You go out to a restaurant, you maybe spend $40 for the meal, 3 course, however many courses of meal, but that will just last you that day, all right? But you still have the problem of feeding yourself the next couple of days or whatever. Whereas that same $40, depending on how you eat, how much you eat or whatever, that $40 can actually go a long way. or depending on where you shop as well. That $40 can go a long way. And that's another thing, like choose carefully where you shop, because not all shops are built equally in terms of pricing. Some shops that are cheaper, you get more for your money and you get more value for it. Become a value investor, not just with stocks, etc., but with life as well. Know when you can get something at a cheaper price or wherever. There might be the stigma of, oh, you're going to this shop that's cheap or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's you, it's your money, but make sure you get your food shopping done.
So the next step that you want to do, or the next thing you want to do once you've gotten paid and you've basically diverted all your cash to the different accounts, is if you have a car or if you get public transport, make sure you have a fund for it. Especially if you've got a car, make sure you've got gas money, right? Because there's nothing worse than Friday you get paid, right? You've been balling. Come Monday, you get in your car and then you find the car is warning you saying, look, I'm low on gas. And you literally don't have enough gas to get to your job. You know, you don't want that case. Basically, you need gas. And without gas, how are you even going to get your shopping? So make sure you go and buy gas once you've got paid, because it's very important. You don't realize how important it is until you need it and you don't have the gas to even get to your job, to get to wherever you want to get to. And with that being said, I'm going to go get my own gas.
Alright guys, so I've just come back from getting the gas. The weather wasn't the nicest, it was raining, typical British weather, but nevertheless, I still had to gas up my car. So if this is the kind of content that you like to see, make sure you guys subscribe below. Comment below, let me know your thoughts. If you've got ideas on how you can save money, comment below. You could be helping other people out who are watching this video and want to know more. Or if you want to know more, of course, subscribe, like this video so I know this is the kind of content that you like to see. I'll be more than happy to be sharing my thoughts, my experiences in terms of finance, and how basically I went from always pretty much squandering my money or just saving it, thinking leaving the cash in the bank is going to do something, because at the end of the day, $10,000 today doesn't have the same value as it did in 1950, 1960, 70. Point I'm making is that cash being left in your account is not really a good thing, because it loses value over time. So you need to be investing those things. You need to be investing your cash. Look for ways to get basically fixed income, monthly income, diversify your streams of income, diversify your investment, diversify the way you live life as well, just so you're happier. With that being said, thanks a lot guys for watching the video. Really appreciate you guys. I'll see you in the next video.
Millions of people around the world are affected by this. You're paid on the first, you're broke on the third. But why is this? In today's video, we're gonna dive into 7 habits keeping you poor. Hi, I'm David. Welcome to InvestoprimeTV. So the first habit that's keeping you poor is living beyond your means. So what does this mean? So it basically means that you're overspending. For example, overspending on luxuries like expensive gadgets, designer clothes or expensive clothes, even eating out at expensive restaurants regularly. You're not budgeting, you're not looking to see how much you can actually afford. So in today's world, that will be, there's a new iPhone that comes out every year. I mean, it's practically the same functionality wise, they just add an extra number, but people rush to buy and it costs over $1,000. So imagine you're spending $1,000 every year. Whereas instead of buying that new iPhone or new expensive gadget every year, you can actually put that money away into a savings, an interest-bearing savings, or you can even put it into an investment, or you can even just use it for yourself. Decide, okay, I'm going to use this money for maybe a holiday if you want a break from work, or just anything. The second habit keeping people poor is not budgeting. Not budgeting is another detrimental habit. Why this is detrimental is that you can easily lose track of finances, lose track of your money, lose track of spending, etc. So it would be a good idea to come up with a clear and concise plan about your money, how much you're making in terms of salary, and then what you actually need money for, and where you need to be putting money, and also where you can invest the money. So a good rule that I use personally is actually the third rule. First third is basically your bills and your outgoings, accommodation. The second third of your salary would be on investments or interest-bearing savings, ways that your money can work for you. And the third, essentially, just put money aside for yourself. that you can spend on yourself for things like if you want to go out to that dinner, yeah, you can go out because you've budgeted for that. By living through this, you can actually follow your money. You can keep track of your money. You know exactly where you're spending as well. I use it and I found it to be very good. I mean, it helped me save up for a house, helped me get the cars I want, it helped me live the kind of lifestyle that I want, and also, more importantly, it's helped me focus on ways of making more money. The third habit keeping people poor is ignoring debt. Ignoring debt instead of facing it head on can really impact you negatively, because if you're ignoring the debt, that interest every month is just accruing and you're missing payments. That goes on your credit file, it adversely goes on your credit file, and then it will affect you in the future for getting more debt. So I know debt can seem like a scary thing. It could be a scary thing, especially if you ignore it. So one of the ways you can go about it, me personally, the way I go about it is, before I get that debt, I ask myself, do I really need this debt? Okay, and then I look at my pocket, because everyone's pocket is different. So I personally look at my own pocket. What money is in that pocket? Can I afford this comfortably? And then I also apply that to the third rule, like I was saying about budgeting. The third rule, which category should I put this debt in? For instance, if I wanted a new phone, because we're on the topic of phones every year, if I wanted a new phone, I say, okay, well, what's the functionality of this phone? Do I need this extra functionality? Like I do YouTube, so I need a good camera. So I look at, okay, of course, I go for the iPhone because I prefer those and the camera functionality. So I look at, okay, there's a new iPhone. How better is this camera to the one I have? And can I afford this extra debt on it? Can I get this new phone contract? Those are the things that you should really analyze. You really need this debt. Can you afford it? Can you maintain it? And also, importantly, look at how long is the debt? Is it going to be 4 years, right? And then look at yourself in 4 years' time, because things happen, life happens. You might be in a job now, you might be in a good job now or getting money now, but would you be getting that same money or even more money in 4 years' time? Or would you need the money for other things in 4 years' time? Would you need a different lifestyle? So all of these things, you think about it, and then when you get the debt, then you make sure that you allocate money, a part of your budgeting, you allocate money to this debt. So that way, instead of ignoring debt and burying your head in the sand, you actually, first of all, you look forward to paying it because you feel, yes, I can pay this. And secondly, it'll just be like a natural occurring thing. You wouldn't even think about it because you're thinking about other things, because that's already taken care of. The fourth habit keeping people poor is actually lack of financial education. A lack of financial education can actually keep you trapped in poverty. So there's actually a saying that investing in yourself pays the most dividends. And nothing can be truer than that. It could be as simple as reading a financial book. I mean, The Psychology of Money is a great book you can get on Amazon. Also, there could be Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. That's a great book. I mean, that book pretty much changed my life, changed my perception of money, and when you start educating yourself about money, on finances, then you actually naturally just change the way you look at money. Because right now people look at money like, oh, how does this person get this money? Or how are they getting the premium package of life? You see people on yachts, you see this, but all that didn't happen overnight, and it certainly didn't happen without a financial education. You need to understand where you're going to spend your money, all the different investments that you need to have or you can undergo that can give you good returns. You don't need to just go into property that's expensive initial startup capital. You need a lot of money to start up buying properties. You don't necessarily need to do that. You can even invest in some like whiskey that could be a little bit cheaper. Another important thing about the financial education is really staying grounded. I mean, it's easy to go on social media like TikTok and all that, and then every second TikTok you see there's someone in a Lamborghini spitting out flames, there's someone on a yacht, there's someone on a jet ski, and there's someone asking you what color is your Bugatti. It's easy to see that and pressurize yourself to, I need to have this, I need to have that tomorrow, I need to have that yesterday kind of thing. But you need to really be kind to yourself. Understand, okay, this is me, this is my lane. I'm gonna stay in my lane. I know that if I keep doing X, Y, and Z or learn this certain skill, that is going to be high paying or is going to be in demand. If I stay on this lane, eventually I'm going to get to that point. It'll be a lot more sweet, because let's face it, on social media, you don't know where people are really getting their money from, if you get what I mean. Unless you want to go down that road, be my guest. But for the majority of us, normal people that just want to have a good living and get the nice things we want, find your lane, stay on your lane. The fifth habit keeping people poor is not investing in yourself. What does it mean to invest in yourself? There's many ways that you can invest in yourself. You can invest in yourself through reading books. If there's something that you're into, you're passionate about, read about it, get more information about it, learn different ways, and more importantly, learn how you can potentially monetize that information that you're learning. The second one also ties into that. Develop a new skill. Okay, find out high demand skills, like it could be laboring skills, that, for instance, gardening, plumbing, learn all that. Those are high demand skills, and then become very good, become a master of your craft, and then you can easily get jobs before you know it. The only problem you'll be having will be being able to meet the demand, but at least you've invested in yourself, you've learned that new skill, you've gone from 0 to 100 real quick. And then other ways that you can invest in yourself could even be as simple as eating right, because your body is your temple. You need to take good care of it. So eat right, exercise. It helps with your mental state, it helps with your physical state as well. And also you look in the mirror and you're like, damn, I look good. So those are the things you need to do. Invest in yourself, invest in your mind, invest in your physical. The sixth habit keeping people poor is procrastination. Procrastination is actually the enemy of progress, even though procrastination is the enemy of progress. But what does procrastination actually mean? So procrastination means leaving things off till a later day. Like, for instance, you're sitting there and you're thinking, damn, I've got to do this thing. You know what, I'll just do it tomorrow. A good example would be studying for exams. I, for one, I procrastinated a lot until it was like 2 nights before the exam. I'm like trying to cram everything, even eating the paper, hoping that the information will go in. But procrastination is not good. Obviously, it's the enemy of progress. But one way that you can go around procrastinating is organizing. You can start off small. You don't need to organize your whole, have flip charts, have boards everywhere. Start small, think, okay, what little tasks do I need to do? Because it's all about accomplishing the little tasks, and then the bigger tasks will take care of themselves. Or if you have a big task, then you can just break it down into little chunks. For instance, you have a big task. I want to be a millionaire. Okay, you're not going to wake up a millionaire. But what you have to do, first of all, you need to start working. You need to start putting your money in places. You need to start investing. If you start a business, and of course, it'll be you putting all the grafting, all the hard work, late nights, 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, you're still working on taxes, you're still working on this. I, for one, have been there. But putting in those little hours, those extra shifts in yourself, investing in yourself by reading those books, gaining more knowledge, and investing in other things, before you know it, your business goes to the next level. Then where's the next level? You need to hire people, because you've got more demand than you can actually supply services to. So you hire more people, and then guess what? Your business just grows exponentially. And before you know it, you don't even realize when you become a millionaire. And that's how it is. So you're tackling little problems, little tasks I need to do, and then the big task like becoming a millionaire takes care of himself. Finally, the seventh habit keeping people poor is actually negative mindset. Negative mindset can perpetuate a cycle of poverty. So think about it, manifestation is actually real. It starts with the mind. So if you want positivity in your life, you think positively and then you manifest it. So if you're thinking negatively, of course, negative things are going to happen in your life. You're going to stay poor. For instance, you say, okay, well, I can't be a millionaire, or I can't get this job, or I can't get to this size if you're looking to lose weight, or I can't get to this muscle mass if you're looking to gain muscle, etc. I spend all the time in the gym, but I'm not doing it. You're thinking negatively, you're thinking about what you can't do. So eventually you wouldn't get there. Whereas if you flip that on its head and think, for instance, the gym side of things, if you think, okay, you know what, I can't be this size, then you're starting to think positively. And then as a result, you then think, okay, well, how do I get to this muscle size? What muscle groups do I work on? Like, is it chest today? Is it arms? Is it shoulders? Is it back? What do I want to gain out of that? You start thinking logically, and then you start thinking actually like steps systematically. What steps do I need to take to do this? It's like that with anything. And that's how manifestation actually works. Manifestation doesn't work when you're just sitting there thinking, oh, I'm gonna be this, I'm gonna do this. No, manifestation starts with the idea, and then actions follow that idea. you really put that idea into actions, and then you start to see it realizing itself. So how you can actually get away from negative mindset is look at what you have, appreciate what you have, and then think about your next stage in life, where you need to get to and how you're going to get there. So guys, those are the 7 habits keeping people poor, and I've given some examples of how you can get around those and overcome those habits, basically lose those habits, because they're really bad habits. But breaking away from these habits is not easy. Definitely, it's far from easy, but a way to break away from them is determination and discipline. So discipline yourself, focus, and first of all, identify that, look, you're a victim of that habit, and then start thinking about how you can get away from that habit and what kind of disciplines you need to implement in your life in order to break away from it. And really, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes days. So one day you're doing this, it's all about those little tasks that you're doing. So you're doing them on a day-to-day basis, and eventually after a week, it becomes a lifestyle. So if you stuck around this long on the video, I appreciate you. Thank you for watching. Leave us a comment below, give this video a like, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next one. Key steps to financial freedom. What are they and why do you need them? In this video, we're gonna dive into that and explain, break it all down for you guys.
Financial freedom sounds exciting to me.
Yeah.
I would love to have financial freedom. I would love a day where I don't have to worry about money.
Yes, but still have money coming in while you're sleeping.
Yes.
Because you can sit, not worry about money, but there's nothing coming in.
But that's what I mean. I mean, like, whereby I have money, right? Enough to, to live off, and I don't have to think about it.
And then you can go places that you can just, whatever you see, you can buy, right? Not saying, oh, I'm going to have to count my pennies. But anyway, the first one is actually set financial goals. So
I think that's key, and I think it's important, and I think we tend to neglect it a lot. I think I do it a lot.
Yes.
I don't set my financial goals. I think I'm in between. Like when I'm really good with my money, I'm really good, and then when I'm really bad, I'm really bad. And sometimes I get into this habit of money comes in, money goes out. Like I'll just spend the money and I don't plan ahead.
I think that's the same place a lot of people are in. Like the money is out before it comes in your account. You've already got all these outstanding.
It's a habit, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's a habit, and I'm bad at it sometimes because I'll even like start thinking of buying stuff that I don't need. Like it's terrible. So
yeah, but I guess that's where like certain financial goals will come in, because you can say, you know what, this is what my income is gonna be, or this is what my income is. These are my necessary bills like rent, well, accommodation, food, because you need to eat, right, and anything else, clothes. And then anything out with that, you could say, okay, this is how much I have left. This is my goal. I want to save up this amount by the end of the year, or in 6 months, or in 2 years, whatever. And part of setting those financial goals is knowing what you want to achieve with the money, because money is a tool to get what you want. That's what people forget. People often think money is the do all and be all. It's not. You should control money rather than have money control you.
Absolutely. And I think for me, like I mentioned at the beginning, I think I'm quite bad. Like I used to be worse, and I think now I've taken a lot of like David's advice. Like he's really good with money and organizing, and I think I've taken a lot of his ideas in a way for me to also get to that my financial freedom. And I've taken some key steps and some key things, and for me the first one is definitely avoid taking out unnecessary debts. So I've cut back in terms of like taking out debts that I don't need. For example, say a new iPhone comes out, I used to be bad with that. Again, I would always get
every year.
Yeah, I'd get a new contract.
New one,
like if they say a new Apple is waiting for me at the Apple store, I'll go and get it. So now I've cut that back. Like now I tend not to buy a new phone when it comes out.
Yeah, I was actually quite bad with that as well. There's a new phone, particular iPhone will come out. I'll take out a new contract, maybe 24 months or 36 months, and then it's all fun and games until after a few months you're like, rah, I'm tied to this for another 30 months, and you can't tell where you're gonna be or where life is gonna be in the future. You can only plan for it, but you can't exactly tell where it's gonna be. No one can. So what's the point taking out something that's gonna last you 4 years, or is gonna tie you down for 4 years, when you don't know what's going to happen, where you'll be in 4 years, where you'll be financially. Exactly.
Absolutely.
What do you think of like having an emergency fund as a key step for financial freedom?
I think it's good. I think an emergency fund, if you can afford it, definitely get one. I have been in situations where I have not had an emergency fund.
Yeah, and it's not fun because even me as well, there's many times, and if you have a car, you probably know about this. Many times things come up, especially for the car.
They do.
So I was just driving normally, and next minute I get out the car and then I hear this huge hissing noise. I'm like, what's going on? There's a huge hole in my back tire.
You thought it was a snake.
Yeah, I was like, what? So I started thinking I'm back in Africa or something like that. Then I was like, okay, that's cool. I phoned up the garage and says, look, I need an emergency, basically tire replacement. And of course that came at its cost. That's why it's important to have an emergency fund, because if you're caught lacking, you don't have an emergency fund.
Exactly.
It could be painful.
Yeah, and I think it forces you, especially when things happen that are unexpected, it forces us to spend money that we don't need. For example, you end up taking out a loan or something just so you can cover that emergency issue that's come up. So again, that will keep you back, and you won't be on track on getting to your financial freedom because you're continuously taking out debt, which is not good. So having that emergency fund, like in your story, is great because you are able to cover it yourself and you don't need
exactly. And another thing as well is like it could be bills, how the bills just suddenly went up and people are like, what? I mean, you can't plan for that, of course, but it's good to have something set aside just in case. And this could definitely be one of the financial goals that you can set.
Paying off your mortgage if you can afford it. I can't stress this enough. Pay off your mortgage. And I think that's the biggest burden in a lot of people's lives, because once you pay off your mortgage, you don't need to worry about it, and all that money you would be spending on a mortgage, it comes back in your pocket.
And a key thing to remember with regards to mortgage and is like the price of the house that you go. Everyone wants the big houses, right? Everyone wants the lavish, the mansions, the castles, all that stuff. Or even the five bedroom houses. You need to look at your pocket, right? What can you reasonably afford that you'd be comfortable? Can you afford maybe a 2-bedroom, but really you want a 5-bedroom? Obviously the 5-bedroom will be a lot more expensive, and the mortgage will be a lot higher because Lord knows the rates are high and you're paying off a lot of interest. Most of the mortgage payments are interest. So stick to the maybe 2-bedroom that your mortgage is lower, and like Kay was saying, paying off your mortgage will be a lot easier to do because you can actually put something towards the principal every month, every year. Let's say you can afford maybe £3,000 a month for a mortgage on a house, and you see 2 houses that you can get. One is a maybe 5-bedroom, the other is a 4-bedroom or 3-bedroom, and of course one is cheaper than the other. Let's say for one, the 5-bedroom, your mortgage would be 2,500, and for the 3-bedroom, your mortgage would be maybe 1,500. Why not go for the 3-bedroom, and then that extra 1,500 you have spare, put it towards your principal, rather than going for the 2,500 and you only have 500 left. So it's all about playing around with what you have.
Definitely. And I think also, I know we're on the topic of mortgages, but I also feel like, say if you're a young person and you're staying with your parents, I would encourage you to stay with your parents for as long, forever.
Lord knows that's a good idea.
Honestly, like if you have your parents and they've got a house and you're living there for free,
why not?
Take advantage of it. Honestly, use it as an opportunity to save up.
Exactly, and it's a very good opportunity. I mean, you can gain some experience as to paying bills by giving some money to your parents for the electric bill, or even towards the mortgage, or if you just want to say it's rent, just to give you that experience. But stay with your parents as much as possible. I mean, we all want to just move out very quickly, have our space, have our this, have our that, but unless it's really necessary, then it's a good idea just to stay where you are.
Because reality quickly sets in when everything comes out at the same time, and then you look at your salary and you're like, what happened to my money? So I think it's important. I mean, for me, because we've got kids, I would definitely encourage our boys to stay with us for as long as they can. Not forever, but, well, I mean, if I could keep them forever.
Nobody needs this.
But, you know, whenever they're ready, I'm not going to push them, and we'll obviously help them as much as we can to set them up, just to help them a little bit, because I know how it feels starting from scratch. So,
Yeah, because we pretty much just rushed to move out, have our own space and stuff like that. But yeah, if you can do that, any opportunity you get to save up as much, that way it also gives you time to think about what you really want. Because when you're already out, you don't have that time, because money is a big issue.
There's no time to think.
Could be an issue. I know.
There's no time to think. There's just time to get up, get to work, come back, sleep, and repeat. Literally.
Pretty much. Invest in the future.
Yes, investing is important. There's many ways actually to invest, and our expert here will definitely tell us a bit more about investing, because he's good at it. And for me, I take as much advice as I can with investments, so I'm all ears. So let's hear it.
Cheers, self-proclaimed expert. But yeah, with investing, I would say it depends. Again, goes very much hand in hand with setting financial goals. Because when you set your financial goals, then you know how much money you could put away on what you can invest in. So I would say I always go with a 3/3 rule. So the first third, of course, goes to bills and stuff, if you're lucky. The second third goes towards food and yourself, paying yourself. And the third should always go towards investing, putting something aside for the future. You know, so there's different ways you can invest. You can invest in a pension. You can invest in like an ISA. In fact, your pension, you can put it into an ISA, which gets invested for you by a fund manager. You can even learn about the stock market, invest yourself in the stock market. That you can do property investment if you have the capital. There's even as much as like whiskey, invest in casks of whiskey. I can talk for days, for weeks, for months on this. How about you? You work in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely do work in the industry, but I think for me, what works for me and I think is key is especially your pension. Don't neglect your pension. So if you're able to put a bit more in your pension, do that, because guess what? It would allow you to retire early. So remember, the best thing that you can invest in actually to get to your financial freedom is time. So if you can buy back time, whereby you put more in your pension, and you know, like Didi mentioned, investing in ISAs and all these extra things, properties. If you can invest in those things, by the time maybe you're hitting 50, 60, you might have enough cash to be able to retire and move on. Because sometimes what tends to happen is people invest, you know, their money in specific things, and then maybe they don't plan fully ahead. And maybe that at that point where they thought they were going to retire, that money is not enough, and then they're forced to go back to work to make that little bit extra to survive for the rest of their life. So you don't want to get caught up. So make sure you plan ahead and put extra money in your pension or your future investments, for sure.
Actually, you could invest in businesses. People only think of things like real estate, which is good, stocks and shares, which is also good, etc. But not a lot of people think about buying businesses, and that's actually what the super wealthy do. There's websites that you can buy businesses. It could even be a mom and pop store, like a cafe or something, physical business, or it could be an online. You can buy an e-commerce business, and they tell you how much it is generating every month. So yeah, that's something that you can consider.
And just to like finish off what you've said there, I think the reason why also that's really good to do is because you are not doing the groundwork. So that business is already established. So if you have the money, all you're doing is just buying the whole lot. You don't need to advertise. Already that business is out there. You don't need to get customers. There's already customers. So for you, all you're doing is owning something. That's a good idea. I really like that. So yeah, if you have the money, definitely.
So those are just some key steps to securing your financial freedom. And the take-home message out from this video, if you don't take anything else on board, the message you should definitely take on board is the earlier you start, the better you will be in the future. You know, so
there's no better time like now, you know, to start. So if it's something you've been thinking about doing, start now. Start putting a little amount. You don't need to put 90% of your salary, or you don't need to be making millions of pounds a year. You know, wherever you can, just put something aside and then put it somewhere. But thanks for watching, guys. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you guys subscribe, and of course hit the notification bell so there'll be more videos like this and you wouldn't miss any of them when they get uploaded.